Hey everybody, welcome to Fit Tip Tuesday. I've had some time to play with the top-down center-out method of pants fitting with some of my private pants fitting students, and that's given me the opportunity to work with some different shapes and sizes and then play with different ways to get to the perfect fit faster. And what I want to talk about today is, did you pick the right starting size? The reason why I want to take a few minutes to talk about this today is because with one of my pants fitting students, I did not pick the right size to start with. And then after looking at what happened in the fitting process after we made the one leg muslin, I reevaluated what I was going to do, and then I decided to circle back to picking the size again, or to go back to the beginning and pick a size. So what I want to explain to you is, traditionally when you pick a size to fit your pants, you start with your full hip measurement, you find the size corresponding to that on the size chart, and you pick the size. Then you check your waist and your thigh measurement, and if you need to blend between sizes, you can do that. Now, I just want to show you what that traditionally can look like. So let's say for the student I'm working with, or for yourself, you're a size 12 in the range of sizes according to your full hip. Well then, let's say you have a prominent tummy, and so your waist is larger than the size 12 waist. So you want to blend between the size 12 and the size 14. What you would traditionally do is start up here. So you can see the size 14 is this red line. So I would start here, and then I would blend to the size 10, and then continue the size 10 down to the bottom at the hem. Okay, and you would repeat that for the back. So you would start at the size 14, and you would blend to the size 12, and then continue that down to the hem. Now, this is not a wrong way to pick a size. You can absolutely do this. But if you're working with the top-down center-out method of pants fitting, you want to maintain the shape of the original pattern. So by blending between sizes, I've now created a different hip curve than the original, and that may work out okay. So I'm not saying this is wrong, I'm just saying that this is the way I would do it in the past. And if you want to see what the pattern is going to do based on how it was drafted, you've now already made a change before you've gotten it onto your body. And again, this could work out perfectly fine. All right, so this is another way you can pick your size if you're a size 14 at the waist and a size 12 at the full hip. So you can start out at the waist and use the entire size 14 on your side seam. Okay, because that's going to give you the room for the waist. You've got a little bit of extra in the hip area, but remember, we fit the side seams last at top down center out, so once we get the pattern straight and balanced, we can take in that extra ease. So I'm going to go with the size 14 all the way down. Then when I come over to my inseams, instead of picking the 14, I'm going to pick the 12. So I'm just going to trace this part of the pattern that's the size 12, and I'm going to do size 12 all the way down. So you can see what's happening here is we're not changing the original shape of the pattern, we're just picking sizes where we need them on our body. So this would be a way to pick two sizes that correspond with your shape without changing the shape of the pattern. and I'm finding that this works better than blending between sizes. So now here is another version of this. You can pick different lines on the side and inseam to correspond with your body. Another thing you can do is look at your shape. Stand in front of the mirror and look and see what your legs are doing, for example. If your inner thighs are touching at the top of your leg, or maybe they touch all the way to your knee, that's a body style where I would shift fabric from the side seam to the inseam. Now, working with the top-down, center-out method, and one of my pants fitting students, I decided to just ignore that, cut out the size for the hip, and see what happens. After we made the muslin, picking just the hip size and fitting the center front and center back so the inseam was hanging straight and the hem was parallel to the floor, we started dealing with the extra ease. And what you could clearly see in the muslin was there was extra fabric hanging on the side seam and it was pulling on the inseam. All right, so evaluating her muslin, and I'm sorry I don't have a picture of it because she was standing in her underwear with just one leg, so I'm not going to share the photo, but we looked at it carefully and decided she needed about a 1/2 inch of extra ease on her inseam. So going back to the original pattern, instead of picking the size 12 for that inseam, we went all the way out to the 16, and we did it in the front and the back, and that gave us the extra room we needed. So let me show you how this would look. So she needed the 12 through her hip and waist, so we picked that. That's the easy part. And then let me just get a front over here so I can do that one as well. So we're on 12. And then on the inseam and crotch, we went all the way out to the 14. So you can see what that's doing is it's giving us an additional 1/2 inch in the back, and it gave us an additional 1/2 inch in the front. And again, we're not changing the shape of the pattern. Right, so you can see here that we added to the whole inseam to create room for her inner thigh, and we may or may not have to take it in on the side seam, because remember, she had enough ease with the standard size 12, so now I've added ease along the inseam. Here's the cool part about the top-down, center-out method. Once you sew your one leg muslin together, you fit the center front, center back, to get the crotch, line, inseam, and hem properly hanging so that the hem is parallel to the floor. Then you play with the front and back side seams separate from each other to fit along the leg to sort of balance out the ease. So the beauty of this is when we tried this muslin, all the wrinkles went away because she had enough room along the inseam for her inner thighs, and then where we were very easily able to take away the extra ease on the side seam as we played with fitting the side seam at the end of the process. So I just want to encourage you to really look at your figures or your shapes and sort of think about where you need your extra ease. This example I just showed you with adding to the inseam could be reversed if you have very slender legs and very slender inner thighs. You can actually go to a smaller size at the inseam and crotch and have a larger size at the side seam. So this is an example for a full inner thigh, but just do it in reverse if you have a small upper leg, inner thigh. You don't need as much along your inseams. You can actually pick a smaller size. So if you have any questions or comments about working with the top-down, center-out method and picking your starting size or sizes, please post those below and I will help you. Next week, I'm going to tackle the topic of, do you scoop the crotch when you're working with the top-down, center-out method? It's going to be very exciting. So I hope you join me for that. Thank you so much for watching and have a lovely rest of your day.